from the top. This is our last chance to get it right before the ceremony tonight. And now the 5 lovely finalists in our contest to select a homecoming queen. Jane Elliott. Rita Alfaro. Joanne Miller.
All right, Joanne.
Benny Del Grazio. And John Gilroy.
Hey, let's hear it for this job. Yeah, look at that.
John, why are you doing this?
What is this for?
L.A. Trib. Smile.
I'm David Sanders, the Trib's campus stringer. Why did you decide to enter the contest for the homecoming queen this year? In your own words.
As a joke. Wish you'd worn a bathing suit.
As a joke? Are you sure? And that sounds frivolous, John.
It is frivolous.
Yeah, but couldn't it also have something to do with Title IX? With ERA? With equal rights?
I suppose so.
So couldn't it simply be your humorous way of making a point about sexual stereotyping? Aren't you really doing this to protest reverse discrimination?
No.
Oh, John.
Well, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's well put, John. I can use that. All right.
I don't know, David. What does he do? Wear a dress? I hate pictures of guys in dresses.
No, it's nothing like that, Mr. Grant. It's perfectly legitimate.
Oh, yeah?
He's doing this to make a point about equal rights. If you can't discriminate on the grounds of sex, then there is no reason why a guy can't be homecoming queen. He's gonna win, too.
Who's taking him to the prom?
I already asked his girlfriend.
Oh.
Do you think you're interested?
If we keep on paying you by the inch, you'll own this joint by next year. All right, flesh this out with examples of other ways men have gotten into areas that everybody used to think were just for women. Like phone operators.
And?
There's lots of them. There must be. You find them.
How?
Chris?
What do you need?
David here has a piece that needs some research. Show him how and where, will you?
Okay. And you just keep placing them, don't you?
Yeah, and lately they've been letting me write a lot of them, too.
You got it made. You're editor of your college paper, you're stringer for the Trib. When you graduate, you'll have a job waiting for you right here, sure as anything.
Hey, what about you? You got a jump on me. You're working here now.
Oh, I got to jump on you. I'm a copy boy. Copy boys don't become reporters, not anymore.
Why, Lou? Why do you insist on making waves? I mean, why do you always pick the dumbest things to get stubborn about?
What did I do?
You know perfectly well I'm talking about your physical.
Oh, that.
You gotta take it. It's a rule. I mean, once a year, everyone on the editorial staff gets a physical, company policy.
I don't need a physical. I already had one, and they said I was fine.
When was that?
In the Army. They did 400 of us in just under half an hour. I haven't had a whole lot of faith in them since.
You haven't had a physical since the Army?
400 naked guys. I saw a lot of ugly things in the war, but nothing as ugly as that.
Lou, you have
The answer's no.
You okay?
I'm fine. I just don't feel like getting a physical.
Excuse me, Mr. Grant.
What? Oh, sorry. What is it, Chris?
Well, maybe this isn't the time.
No. Come on. What is it?
Well, I was wondering if you could recommend a book for me to read on news writing.
What do you mean?
I mean, how to do it, you know, something that shows you step by step.
You want to be a reporter?
Well, yeah,
Like David Sanders.
right.
First thing you got to learn about news writing is you can't learn it from a book. A kid like Sanders has been writing for years, every day, since junior high school.
Well, I'd be willing to write every day.
You would, huh?
Yeah.
Bill?
Yeah.
Give me that information you got on the Lockman story.
Gotta hear something. Oh, here it is.
Thanks. Here.
What's this?
It's the guts of a story a reporter phoned in this morning. Bill already wrote it up for the first edition. Why don't you take a crack at it yourself, see what you can do.
Oh, hey, thank you. Thank you. That's great, Mr. Grant.
Yeah. It's the only way to learn to write. Jump in and start doing it.
Okay, all right.
Till my father taught me to swim. Just threw me right in. I drowned.
You know my friend Len White on the New York Times?
What about him?
He's on one of the Pulitzer juries this year.
Oh, it's prize time again. The award season. The Pulitzers, the press club, the advertising council. We're not in this business to win awards. I hate the whole idea.
Now I'll tell you something that'll really depress you. Guess who my friend says has a good chance of winning for local reporting?
Let's see. Who would depress me by winning a Pulitzer Prize? Rossi?
I just said he's got a good chance.
Rossi?
Yes, for his series on mental hospitals.
Well, it was good work. Rossi?
My friend shouldn't have told me, but he did. Now the point is, what do I do?
Pray for an upset.
Why the happy faces?
No, we just had some pretty bad news, Rossi.
Oh, yeah? How bad?
Very bad.
Awful.
Jeez, I'm sorry. What? What is it?
No, you don't want to know.
Lou. We were just talking about the possibility of your winning a Pulitzer Prize this year.
It's a good bet. I get nominated almost every year, just a matter of time.
No, Rossi, what I meant was...
You're still going to tell him after hearing what he just said?
Maybe you're right.
Wait a minute. Did you hear something?
Yes. Yes, Rossi, a friend of mine who's on one of the juries said that your series on mental hospitals was the best thing he'd read in local reporting.
Is she putting me on? Are you two setting me up? Is that it? Make Rossi look like a jerk. Is that the plan?
It's a nice thought, Rossi. But unfortunately, Billy's telling you the truth.
The Pulitzer Prize? How about that? I'd say that calls for a little celebrating around here. Hey, bartender.
You believe this? Rossi is actually going to buy?
Give me a beer.
Why do you always make me feel like the school principal calling the bad boy into her office? Why haven't we had our physical examination?
Oh, that.
You and Joe Rossi are the only ones who haven't had one yet. He, at least, has made an appointment to see the doctor. Is there some reason why you're resisting it?
Yeah, I don't like physicals.
None of us enjoys them particularly. They serve a purpose.
Maybe not. I read an article by a doctor who says people have a lot of unnecessary checkups. Drives up the cost of medical care.
Well, that may be true, but when you...
Plus the fact that it takes time away from people who are really sick or hurt. I mean, there I am, taking up a doctor's valuable time getting a physical, while in the next room, some poor guy is bleeding on the floor.
Why do I get the impression you're not telling me the real reason?
Yeah, I am.
Then your reason is for the birds.
I don't want a physical.
Are you afraid that something is the matter with you?
No, I don't know. I haven't felt real well for a while. I'm always tired, even in the morning. It's probably just age catching up with me, but
But you don't want to know for sure.
you're darn right I don't.
Mr. Grant, you know better than that. It's very important you see a doctor so you can find out why you feel the way you do. Now, if you like, I'll go with you. I'll hold your hand. Afterwards, I'll buy you some ice cream.
I'm not getting a physical.
I do not care to go through this again.
Okay. I'll go. When are you free?
When am I free?
Yeah. You did say you'd buy me ice cream, didn't you?
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
not the last holdout, you know. One of your colleagues, Mr. Rossi, is due later this afternoon.
Yeah, I heard.
It's all right. Your weight isn't bad. You look pretty trim.
Oh, it's 20 pounds this year.
Yeah, I'd like to drop some weight, but the way my wife cooks...
Too good, huh?
Awful. We eat out all the time, and you sure can't lose any weight that way. How do you feel, generally?
Fine. Aren't you going to tell me I'm in terrific shape for a guy 50 years old?
Good Lord, is that all you are? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. No complaints?
Oh, yeah, well, sometimes I feel a little tired, but who doesn't?
Mm-hmm. What kind of tired?
You know, no pep, no energy. I probably just work too hard.
When do you feel that way? You mean at the end of the day?
Right. That's all.
Never any other time?
Oh, yeah. I guess sometimes.
In the morning?
Sometimes.
Ever feel that way after a good night's sleep?
Once in a while. What are you doing?
Oh, just feeling a thyroid. Feels like there's a little nodule on the right side there.
Nodule?
Mm-hmm. I can't be sure just by feeling. What I'd like you to do is have a scan.
What does that mean, have a scan?
Oh, there's nothing to it. You lie on a table and they pass the machine back and forth across your throat. I'll arrange it for tomorrow, and I'll have you drink a little iodine solution before you leave today.
You're going to have me drink iodine?
Well, just a drop or so in solution is perfectly safe.
Sure. And a little skull and crossbones on the bottle?
Oh, this won't be household iodine. This is radioactive.
Why didn't you say so?
Would you mind getting back on the scale? I forgot to check your height. You see, the thyroid is hungry for iodine. And normally it gets it from the salt in our food, especially seafood. Now, yours will drink up the radioactive iodine, and by tomorrow, we'll be able to get a perfect picture of your thyroid, suitable for framing.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. I'm taller than that. You must have pressed down too hard on my head.
It's normal to settle slightly as we get older.
Oh, that's terrific. You know that? I've got a nodule. I've got to drink iodine, and I'm shrinking. This is more fun than Christmas.
I hate to add to all that, but would you mind resting your elbows on the table here for a moment?
Oh, I hate this part worst of all.
I'm not crazy about it myself.
You say Joe Rossi is coming by later?
Well, that's right. Why?
Well, when you get to this part, at exactly this moment, do me a favor. Say, oh, by the way, Lou Grant says hello. Morning, Lou.
Morning.
How is it?
Well,
It's not good, right?
right.
Well, I use the 5 W's in the lead. Who, what, when, where, and why. I wasn't sure about how. It doesn't start with a W.
You got a hold of a book, didn't you? I told you to stay away from books. What did this one say?
It said the first sentence of a news story should give all the information, and mine does.
The lead should also grab the reader's attention. Yours doesn't. George F. Lockman shot Richard G. Porter in the head with a .38 caliber revolver on the corner of Sweetser and La Cienega at 4:24 p.m. on February 19th, 1978, because of an argument. It's hard to make murder dull, Chris, but you managed to do it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That writing a lead should be more than reciting all the facts. It should involve the reader, make him want more. You know David, I string at LAU? David filed this covering an awards presentation at LAU. Pretty dull stuff, right?
Right.
Listen to the lead. A scholarship named in honor of a young soldier killed on Guadalcanal was won by the daughter of a Japanese pilot at LAU's 49th annual awards dinner Thursday night. Want to know more?
Yeah.
That's why this is a good lead. Good news writing is more than the 5 W's.
Yeah.
Hey, don't look as though I just kicked you. You wanted to learn.
Well, does this mean you won't read anything else I write?
Of course not. Bill?
Yeah.
You got anything good?
How about the harbor explosion?
Fine. Here's another one for you to try. Same idea. Only this time, grab me with that lead.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Gray.
The only way to learn is keep trying.
Okay, right.
Thanks a lot. Now we're going to be getting lousy writing from all the copy boys for the next 5 years.
I gotta go in and have my thyroid scanned this afternoon. They found a lump in it.
Well, we can't have somebody working here with a lumpy thyroid. That bad?
Yeah, I don't know. I was fine until I found out I had it. It's a thought that bothers you.
I know. I don't even like lumps in my oatmeal. But I wouldn't worry about it.
You wouldn't, huh?
Nah, the human body is prone to knots and bumps. I mean, we get more and more like trees as we get older.
God, what if it's Dutch elm disease? Tests.
They only do stuff like that to cover themselves. I mean, doctors have to make a lot of extra tests nowadays, see? To protect against malpractice suits. It means nothing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Banker's hours?
I have an appointment.
Yeah, I know, I heard. Well, if you think it's right to spend the afternoon posing for centerfolds for today's health while the rest of us have to work.
I really don't want to do this.
Hey, relax. Doctors all insist on making a lot of tests these days. It's just...
I know, to protect themselves.
Hey, Luke, can I talk to you?
I gotta go out.
Great, I'll go with you. We can talk.
This definitely is not my week.
I don't want this to sound like an ego trip, but I've got this terrific idea for an article. I know it's a little premature, but what a great angle. The first-person viewpoint on how it feels to win the Pulitzer Prize.
I love it.
It's not just because it's about me. In this case, all right, it happens to be about me, but I'd feel the same if someone else won it.
It's something I, as a reader, would like to know.
Calling Dr. Newman, please.
What are we doing here?
Going to have a thyroid scan.
Oh. You all right?
I guess that's what I'm here to find out.
I guess you want me out of your way.
Rossi, you want to talk some more about that Pulitzer story? The scan shouldn't take more than an hour.
I'll be right here.
Okay, Mr. Grant, it's been 24 hours since you drank that iodine. We should be able to get a nice picture of your thyroid.
How about a couple of wallet size for my daughters?
No, they're not those kind of pictures.
I didn't
Just
mean...
be comfortable. If you have to swallow, try and do it when the scan is at one end or the other and not right over your throat.
Dr. Cheney, please go to emergency.
Am I doing this right?
Please, talking makes your throat move.
I just wasn't... What does it show?
I'll send it over to your doctor and he can discuss it with you.
Yeah, but you could tell him right now what it shows. Why don't you tell him?
We're not supposed to have that kind of discussion with the patient. We just do the testing and send the findings over to the referring physician.
Come on, come on. Stop acting like a robot.
I don't mean in detail.
I'm
Can't you
sure
just...
your doctor will tell you whatever you want to know.
Listen, doctor, why won't you tell me on the phone? I mean, right now, on the phone. Of course I can come to your office, but I resent being treated this way. Because this is high-handed, that's why. It's my body, and I have a right to... Well, if it were good news, you'd sure as hell tell me on the phone. So, in effect, you've already told me, haven't you?
will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Oh, Mr. Grant.
Doctor, before you say anything, I just want to apologize for the way I acted on the phone.
I understand completely. Please sit down. It's really not as bad as all that, you know.
You mean the lump wasn't
No, it probably is.
malignant?
Yes. But before you get frightened by that word, let me explain that thyroid cancer is one of the most manageable forms. It's very slow to spread. Very slow as a rule, and surgical removal of the thyroid usually stops it. In other words, if you had to get it, you couldn't have chosen a better place.
Yeah, I can. Somebody else's throat. That's a lousy thing for me to say. Surgical removal?
It's the wisest thing to do. It's quite a common operation.
What am I going to do without a thyroid? What does it do anyway?
It regulates your metabolism, and you'll get along without it just fine by taking a thyroid tablet every morning. This will tell you all about the thyroid gland, more than you probably want to know. Right now, I think you should select a surgeon.
I should.
Well, why not? I can give you the names of 2 excellent men who do a lot of thyroids. Pick one.
How? Trial and error?
Well, talk to them if you like.
Come on. What can I tell about a surgeon from talking? What should I do? Have him invite me to dinner and see how he carves the roast?
They're both excellent carvers. I just thought you might prefer to make the choice.
What are their names?
Dr. Karp and Dr. Brickman.
Brickman? Brickman? When I was a kid, my family had a doctor named Brickman. I'll take Karp.
Hey, Lou, what did the doctor say?
I have to have my thyroid removed.
When?
Soon as possible.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Me too. I'm not psychologically prepared to start having my organs removed.
Well, nobody ever is.
I'm only 50 years old.
And in terrific shape for a guy your age.
Yeah.
Hey, Lou, that thyroid, that's somewhere in here, isn't it?
The thyroid is a slippery, pink, bow-tie-shaped gland that straddles the windpipe.
Well, then you're better off. Who the hell wants something like that in his throat?
Anything? No.
What do you think?
No good. Nah. Hold it. Sorry, Chris. My mind was on something else. Let me explain what's wrong with this. You see, your lead has nothing to do with the rest of the item. This reminds me of the opening sentence in one of Max Schulman's novels, Sleep Till Noon, I think it was. The sentence read, "Bang, bang, bang, bang. 4 shots ripped into my groin, and I was off on the biggest adventure of my life." You know what the second sentence was? But first, let me tell you a little about myself. And he didn't get back to those shots for the next 100 pages.
Well, that's silly.
Sure, he meant it to be silly.
And that's what mine is like.
A little. You gotta do 2 things, Chris. You gotta grab their attention and still tell them what the story's gonna be about. 2 things.
Yeah, right.
Hey, not so fast. Bill? You're gonna keep at this till you get it right.
The guy got arrested in an Indiana coffee shop for wearing his underpants on his head.
I don't think he was arrested for wearing them on his head, but for not wearing them somewhere else.
Oh, he was fully dressed.
He just had his underpants on his head.
I could see grounds for arrest if they were someone else's underpants.
No, they were his own underpants. Did the judge find him guilty? Strange as it seems, Indiana has no law against wearing your underpants on your head.
Exciting as that is, it just doesn't sound like front page stuff.
Well, the Association of Certified Public Accountants has named its Man of the Year.
King of the bookkeepers.
That's not too newsworthy.
Here he is, the best man in his profession, and he'll never make the front page.
Maybe he should try wearing his underpants on his head.
What do you think, Lou? Lou, what do you think?
I like it.
You like what?
Story about the king.
Hey, are we finished here?
Yep.
Hey, Lou. My wife said her cousin had the thyroid operation. There's nothing to it.
Well, that's good to hear.
Oh, yeah, since I heard about yours, I've run into 2 other people who've had it, and they're both just fine.
Terrific.
I understand it's quite common, Lou.
Don't say that. You'll take all the fun out of it.
Because I'm sure we were the hit of the faculty room, Professor. Thank you for calling. I was the head of the language department at LAU.
And?
He thinks we're a riot. Called to tell us how much they all enjoyed the joke in our story on student awards.
What joke? What are you talking about?
Well, it seems that kid, David Sanders, slipped one by us. See the last award? Way down at the bottom of the list, very tiny print.
Yeah, it's in Latin.
You read it's in Latin. Very elegant Latin, apparently, for a very inelegant sexual act.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
You've been there. It's late, you got a headache and can't sleep.
Look, I didn't mean any harm. It's a long, boring list of fine print that nobody reads. In a way, I guess I was testing to see if anybody does read all the way down. It was just a joke.
A joke.
That's all.
Did you get a good laugh? You better have. I'm afraid you've blown it as far as working at this newspaper is concerned.
Oh, now, hey, come on, Mr. Grant.
Do you think that's a little harsh?
Yeah, well, for a joke.
A newspaper has to have the absolute confidence of the public. People have got to be able to believe every word they read. When you mess with that, you undermine the whole foundation.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
You're sorry, but I'm finished. Mr. Grant, journalism is all that I ever wanted to do. You know that. Just like that, it's over?
Don't say that.
Oh, well, it's true.
Don't ever say that. You're only 21 years old. Young enough to learn from a dumb mistake.
And where do I go?
Lots of places. I don't plan to broadcast to the world what you did, but you can't do that and work here. You had a chance to start way out in front, and now you're back in the pack with the rest. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Grant, I came down to ask about your surgery.
I'm going tonight. They do it tomorrow.
I see.
Yeah. The doctor says I'll be back in a week, 10 days. Donovan will cover for me. Speaking of Donovan, he has a terrific idea for a feature, something Billy could handle.
How are you feeling? Are you nervous?
Sure. Sure. Some guy I don't know is going to cut open my throat. I find it hard to get that out of my mind. Anyhow, this feature would be a terrific follow-up to that series we did on...
Mr. Grant, if you will do me the courtesy of listening, I promise I'll spare you the burden of sympathy. I came down here because I have something I want to tell you. Oh, it's so frustrating. Having as much power as I'm supposed to have. And finding myself powerless to do anything about things that really matter.
Yeah.
It's not a particularly original thought, but it gets me to what I wanted to say. Which is simply anything this paper has or can do is yours. If you need it. And that is all I wanted to say.
This really isn't necessary.
I want to do it. Man shouldn't have to drive himself to the hospital.
Maybe I should drive myself. Take my mind off things.
The way animal drives will take your mind off things.
Let's see. Shirts, socks, underwear.
Lou, why are you taking clothes to the hospital?
Well,
you're not going to wear them.
He's right, Lou.
I'll use these.
That goes for shoes, too.
Well, I'll need some books and stuff to read.
What about your radio?
Be great.
You know, I had surgery once. They put you in intensive care. You can't use a radio in there.
Huh?
As a matter of fact, after major surgery, you probably won't feel much like reading either.
I'll bring them later when I bring the radio.
What about pajamas?
They'll give you a gown.
Gown?
Just for surgery. After that, you can wear pajamas. Take pajamas.
Take pajamas.
What else?
How about a toothbrush? That should do it.
I'll just put these in a paper bag.
All set?
Yeah.
You're only going to be gone a week.
Right. Right. Listen, Billy.
Yeah?
I have a spare house key. I keep it in this envelope with everything, you know.
Got it.
I don't mean to dump all this on you, but I don't have anybody in Los Angeles.
You've got a lot of people in Los Angeles.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
They destroy your home from within.
Wouldn't a little scotch have the same effect?
A lot of scotch might, but we want your stomach empty.
If I drank a lot of scotch right now, you'd have my stomach empty.
And now, we come to our final
Morning.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, are you kidding? Hospital pays people to do that.
I came by to keep you company.
Listen, Ozzy, I appreciate it, but...
How many patients have a potential Pulitzer Prize winner for a candy striper?
Yeah, but I'm all doped up. I wouldn't be much company.
So? You don't have to talk. I'm just here in case you need something.
Like what?
Who knows? But if you want it, you got it. You don't want to talk, we don't talk. You can just look at me.
Press the buzzer and don't know the answer to the question, you lose 3 times as many points. Okay, contestants, we'd like a final round.
Okay, I guess you're better than that game show.
Good morning. I thought you were alone.
Dr. Carr, Mr. Rossi.
How do you do? Hey. Would you excuse us for a second?
Why? Oh, sure.
There's one unfortunate formality we have to go through.
Oh.
I apologize for this, but it's what California calls the informed consent law. Now, basically, that means that I have to tell you everything that could go wrong in surgery.
Oh, good.
Oh, I know it's the last thing you want to hear, but it is the law. Now, these are not things that are going to happen, I assure you. But you have to sign a form saying you've been told all the things that might happen.
Such as?
No, damage to the parathyroid glands, damage to the vocal cords, loss of speech.
Loss of speech.
Mr. Grant, I've done this procedure 1,000 times and never had that happen yet. As I say, I hate having to go through this. But I'm required to point out that the incision is very close to the vocal cords. Therefore...
Something could happen to them.
All right. I promise it won't. This is purely for legal purposes. Now, would you mind just signing right over here? Now, what you will have is a very sore throat afterwards. This is not from the incision. We have to put a tube down your windpipe to make sure your breathing is uninterrupted.
Good. I hate interrupted breathing.
And that makes you feel pretty sore sometimes. There's nothing to worry about. It's normal.
Swell. Swell. Now I know why they dope you up. It's not for the operation. It's for this discussion.
Everything okay?
Yeah, terrific.
You know, my sister knows a guy who had the same thing.
No fooling.
And you know what he says?
I don't care as long as he's able to say something.
He feels better now than he ever did in his life.
I keep hearing that. Either everybody's telling me about the same guy, or what I'm having is the most common surgery outside of circumcision. Did you get that?
Sure. City desk.
Oh.
No. You did call the right place. This is Lou Grant's room. I was just making a little. Joe Rossi. Oh, sure. Put him on. Charlie Hume. Hi, Charlie Rossi. Well, he's a little sedated now. Listen, I'm expecting word on the Pulitzer thing. Has anything? Okay, I see. What? Well, that is good news. Oh, he'll be glad to hear that. Thanks, Charlie. Right.
I don't have to have the operation. They mixed up my test with somebody else's.
No, better than that. Guess what you just won?
The Pulitzer Prize.
Are you kidding?
What did I win? A weekend in Vegas? What?
The Southern California Press Club made a special award to the Trib for most improved local reporting. When a paper wins something like that, it's got to reflect on the guy in charge. Congratulations, Lou.
Thanks. No word on a Pulitzer, huh?
Oh, yeah, I didn't win.
What? How could you not have?
Hey, everybody can.
No, I know, Joe, but that was a hell of a series. Great writing, superior writing. You really deserve that award.
Ah, Lou.
Oh, I mean it. If I had been on that panel, I would have given you that award.
You would?
You're damn right.
Gee, Lou, hearing you say that is better than winning the award.
Really?
Well, no. But it's really nice of you to say it. And there'll be other years. I have my whole life ahead of me. We go. Hey, isn't that great about the trip?
Yeah, it sure is.
You must be really happy, huh?
Yeah. I won an award and I'm having my throat cut. You ever have one of those days?
You don't need that phrase. You given that information up here.
Any word from the hospital yet?
No. Surgery should be going on right about now.
Well, I'm going to the school board meeting. I'll check in an hour in case you get any news.
Okay. You know, Chris, this is really good. It's surprisingly good.
That's it? Mr. Grant is usually a little rougher on me than that. How do you expect me to get good if you're going to go easy on me? A reporter never learned to write from people being nice to him.
Where'd you hear that?
Mr. Grant told me.
Oh. Well, he's right. I mean, you do have a long way to go.
Yeah, well, that's more like it.
What are you going to do after college?
After college?
Aren't you in college?
Man, I got to finish high school first.
You're still in high school?
Who is?
He is.
What are you talking about? We don't hire high school kids.
Well, I told him I was 18 when I applied for the job. I just want to be a newspaperman, Mr. Hume.
There's a lot of that going around.
He's been rewriting some copy, Charlie. Maybe you ought to take a look at it.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Of course, that lead isn't quite there. You want to clean up your syntax a little.
See?
Calling Dr. Cheney.
I'd like you to say something to me.
I can't think of anything interesting to say.
That'll do fine.
It was the first thing I tried back in the recovery room. To see if I could talk.
There was never any doubt.
I can't sing, though.
Sing?
I tried. All the top notes are gone. I can't sing.
What did you want to sing?
I didn't want to sing anything. I just thought you should know I can't.
Why? I don't want you to sing.
Not a note. This is as high as my voice will go.
But the rest will come back in a few months. Meanwhile, the operation went very well. Everything is out, except a bit of tissue. And that can be taken care of later with radioactivity.
Or iodine?
As a matter of fact, yes.
I'm getting a taste for it.
We have to leave a bit on one side when we're moving a thyroid. But the rest is gone, the lump is out, and you're looking good. I'll see you tomorrow in my morning rounds. Oh, I almost forgot I brought you your paper. They seem to be able to put one out without you.
Just put it on top of the one the nurse already brought.
May we come in?
I was just leaving.
Lou, how you doing?
Okay.
We brought you the paper. How are you feeling?
I can't sing.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Can you dance?
No. Never could dance, though. But sing? I always thought I had a really nice singing voice.
You're still drugged, aren't you?
How are you?
It's funny. When I came to, I automatically started worrying about the operation. Dreading it. Then I realized it was over. I'd already had it. That moment was the greatest feeling in the world. I guess it bothered me a lot more than I admitted.
Me too.
Enough. I get nervous when my editors hold hands.
We just saw your doctor, and he said your operation could not have gone better.
Modest, isn't he?
It's funny, we all thought we'd bring you the one thing you'd want the most. So I'm afraid you have 4 copies of the final edition.
7. Maybe I could start a paper route on this floor.
You won't find this in them, but I thought you might enjoy reading it.
What is it?
It's your obituary. I wrote it myself. Just plunked myself down at the old typewriter and the words started flowing. I gotta tell you, Lou, that's some of the best writing I've done in years.
Sorry you didn't get a chance to use it.
This is a lovely room you have here. Such a nice view.
It is lovely.
I hear on a clear day you can see the north wing.
This place is more like a hotel than a hospital. I just passed a candy stripe for pushing a food tray into a guy's room. There was an ice bucket with a bottle of wine in it.
Look at this menu. Lobster bisque, souffle,
I wonder if you have to be a patient to order up.
filet mignon, chopped liver.
Almost be afraid to order that here, huh? Sorry.
Trouble with this place is it's so huge, you can't find a place to park.
I had to park in the parking lot.
But for $2.50, it means they ain't got any visitors at all.
I didn't pay anything.
Where'd you park?
In the cheap staff spot.
You? You took my spot? That's the spot I always use.
I was a beautiful guy, wasn't I?
You certainly were.
It was a city buried by a volcanic eruption. Archaeologists dig through the ruins of the lost city of Pompeii on an all-new Ancient Mysteries tonight. Now, a veteran cop takes a rookie under his wing. on Police Story, next on A&E.